Welcome to Cattai School of Art. I'm doing maths in minutes. It is totally different from what you learn in school. In school, they give you a sum and the teacher says, learn this for tomorrow. But he doesn't tell you how. It is the strangest thing that in the place of learning, nobody has done professional memory training. Your hearing and your listening and your seeing can be improved a great deal. So far, I told you that as soon as people see numbers, they already freak out. Because they started on the wrong way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on. So far we have already become familiar, not only to the numbers, but we have become alert to odd numbers and even numbers. And instead of writing 1 plus 2 is 3 and 2 plus 2 is... What an insane thing, because we have just learned if you add 2 to an odd number, you get the next odd number. And if you add 2 to an even number, you get the next even number. So instead of the whole row 4 times a week, only 2 things, 2 recipes. The last time we did the second 9 recipe, adding 9, 1 more, 1 less. 1 more, 1 less. The 9 is inside, so it's now 1 more, 1 less. 1 more, 1 less. The 9 is inside. So I'll give you, so it's not 23 plus, no. No, as soon as you do 9, you know the recipe, you have to remember the recipe. 1 more, 1 less. So you have to figure this one out, 74. The answer is in this, looking and, looking is enough, you have to see that this is a 9. 36. So we have already become to odd numbers, to even numbers, numbers that make up 9. And now we're going to learn numbers that make up 10. In this way we work ourselves into mathematics, becoming familiar. Oh, these 2 make 10. Oh, these 2 make 10. In the previous lesson, I didn't say if you add, I said if you add 2 to an odd number, you get the next odd number. So this is the lesson, if you add 2 to an even number, you get the next even number. So that's that one. Professional memory training tells you if you want to remember that 3 and 7 is 10, you have to find a way. When you go to teachers' college, of course you don't learn that. You let the children write it out 100 times a year. But you don't tell. I have a special, I'm going to demonstrate how professional memory training techniques work. Rule 1 is, you have to say aloud, I want to remember that 2 and 8 is 10. And then you have to say, how can I remember? Well, the first one is, you have to learn only one. not the two possibilities, because the brain can't have that. If you add 2 to an even number, you get the next even number. But I'm going to demonstrate something that no professor has ever thought of. No teacher, no way in the world. I've just told you I improve listening and hearing, looking and seeing. When I say 10 and 2 and 8, do you honestly think that anybody has thought about the 3 T's? I did, because I did the training. 10, 2, 8. But that's only a demonstration, because if you add 2 to an even number, this one is different. They're not all the same. 3 spells with 2 E's, and 7 also spells with 2 E's. Far-fetched? No, that is the way to remember. 4 goes with its next even number. And of course, 2 hands, you have 10 fingers. You're going to practice that again. 2, 8, 8, 2, 3, 7. We're doing the 10 partners. 5, 5, 6, 4, 4, 6. Like before, not 42 and 8. Oh yeah, 42 plus 8 equal, nah. 42 and 8. I have taught you to see the 10. So that's 50. I taught you to see the 10. There's nothing to think. It's only a question of looking and seeing. 60. I see the 10, that makes 100. I see the 10, that makes an 80. It could not be more interesting. And of course, have you ever seen a book in color? That would be $1,000 per book. These lessons are an artistic performance. Big letters, nice letters, colored letters, Technicolor. Mathematics should be like an art lesson. Beautiful 5s, down and around and ahead, right, down and around, right, curve down, left, right, down, around and around. Amazing. That's why I do maths in minutes. Of course we don't write tables. 9 and 10, you don't do 2 and 10 and 3 and 10 and 4 and 10, 4 times a week, of course. 10 means 10. This stays the same. So if you see this, you say 19. You say 17. 14 and 10. Because this is a note, the 4 stays the same. And this one goes 1 up. So this becomes routine. 14 and 10, 24. 39 and 10, 49. 51 and 10, 61. 84 and 10, 94. The doubles. Now the doubles go hand in hand with the halves. So instead of saying 2 times 3, no. Double 3, 6. Double 4, 8, double 5, 10, double 6, 12, double 7, 14. Double 8, 2, 8, 16. So this is again one that you learn by a little trick. You call it a trick. There's nothing scientific about it. 2, 8, 16. Kids love it. 2, 8, 16. So this is again a question of one lesson. Teacher says 4, student 8, 6, 12, 5, 10, 3, 6, 7, 14, 8. Now and then we go to do the halves. Half 6, 3, half 8, 4. See how we become familiar with numbers already. The second lesson. Odd numbers, even numbers, numbers that end to 9, numbers that end to 10. If you add 2 to an even number, you get the next even number. If you add 2 to an odd number, you get the next odd number. And now the doubles and the halves. These numbers become as familiar as your classmates. Of course, when we do half the odd numbers, we have to do a little trick. Half 8, half 9, we do half 8 is 4 and say 4.5. Half 15, we do half 14 is 7, we just learned that. And without thinking, we say 7.5. So not half 1, nah. Routine. Half 9, do half 8 is 4, 4.5. Half 15, do 14, 7.5. Half 7, do half 6, 3.5. Half 11, do half 10, 5.5. Half 17, do half 16, 8.5. I'm going to now use what I call stepping stones. That is from the known to the unknown. That might take a couple of weeks before it becomes, because I don't do this exercise. To me, 3 and 4, 7. But if you want to slowly exercise your brain and put it in permanently, we can do that in 2 steps. So we have just learned that 3 and 3 is 6. Now, if 3 and 3 is 6, then 3 and 4 is 1 more, of course, with 7. If 5 and 5 is 10, 5 and 6 is 11. If 6 and 6 is 12, 6 and 7 is 13. If 7 and 7 is 14, 7 and 8 is 15. So, of course, that's done in 2 steps. I don't do that. I don't do that in 2 steps. 15, 13, 11, 7. But eventually, when you do it in 2 steps, eventually becomes second nature. Here's another one. This is a special memory training exercise again. When I taught my son, I happened to have a bottle of eau de cologne. And that's called 4711. I learned later. Cologne is the bottom part of Germany next to the Dutch border. And Napoleon decided that he numbered the streets not odd even, he kept on numbering. And the number of the factory happened to be 4711. Very complicated. So as I said 4, 7, 11, I put that eau de cologne under his nose. So I had smell, hearing and seeing. 3 of the 5 senses, unreal. 4, 7, 11. You know the garage, 7-Eleven, it's magic in your head. Where your coffee are 7-Eleven. Rhyme. 4, 7, 11. Now if 4 and 7 is 11, 5 and 7 is 12. Stepping stones. If 4 and 7 is 11, 4 and 8 is 1 more, 12. If 4 and 7 is 11, 1 less and 1 more is of course also 11. Nobody would have, no, because if you thought that you just tell kids that 8 and 7 is 14, in the long table, 8 and 1, 8 and 2, 8 and 3, 8 and 4, 8 and 6, well then you would never see this. My students always loved this. Because we have learned, we have become aware of even numbers, 8 and 8, 6, next even number is 4. So I used to do with the student 8, 6, 14. Then the arm went out. 8, 6, 14. Make sure that you don't sit next to a girl because, or a boy, otherwise the arm goes in your face. But that's also a way of remembering, and the 8 and 6 is 14. This is a visual. If I draw 3 and a 5 upside down, then in the middle you see an 8. The 2 bellies make an 8. Ever anybody saw that? Of course not. Because they finished their studies. So this is also sounding. 3, 5, 8. 5, 8, 13. The 3 comes back, but now it's 13. Together. 3, 5, 8. 5, 8, 13. Not writing whole tables, no. 8, 6, 14. 3, 5, 8. 5, 8, 13. You've never seen a maths lesson like this. This lesson is see and say. We just learned if 4 and 7 is 11, 5 and 7 is 12, and 10 is 22. We just learned that if 4 and 7 is 11, then 3 and 8 is also 11, and 60 is 71. If 7 and 7 is 14, 7 and 8 is 15, and 50 is 65. 8, 6, 14, 34. If 5 and 5 is 10, 5 and 6 is 11, and 40 is 51. If we write it like this, you just see, the 9 recipe, think 1 less and 10. So you see this 13, and you see this as 70. 13 and 70 is 83. 11 and 60 is 71. You don't have to write down tables, you have to see how it works. And that is the end of the second lesson. So the third lesson we can already practice these answers. Third lesson tomorrow. we can already do the answers.